Hi and welcome back. If you're new to the channel, my name is Vince. Thanks for stopping by. You're very welcome here indeed. So it's that time of month again for an NMN website review. This one was requested by Mr. JP. He sent me a message. So enough waffling for me. Let's jump into this month's NMN Supplier's website review. So the company we're going to look at this week is a company called Verso. This is their logo. Very trendy looking logo. And I'm doing this website because I got this particular comment from Mr. JP. Well, that's enough for me. Let's get into it. So this is the homepage. There's no address, and I've looked all over the site and I can't find where they come from. If you search online, you only get this web page, their Facebook page, and their Instagram site page, whatever they call it. But I think I've tracked them down, and there's more on that later. So on first sight, this web page looks very professionally designed. Their homepage, this is their homepage. If you click on Verso, it will just take you back to this page. So they've gone for the order now, buy it option, as opposed to possibly an introduction to the company, what the benefits are, a gentle easing in. They've gone straight for the hard sell. So will this site be a diamond or will it be a fugazi? Time will tell. So let's scroll down to the first banner, and we can see here 2 powerful molecules in 1 effective capsule. Pure ingredients, cold storage, no BS. Now, no BS is the kind of, dare I say, edgy text that is sprinkled throughout the site. I think to give them kind of a cool appeal. Maybe Verso want to be the new cool NMN company. Who knows? And there's more information here that talks about that their NMN is mixed with trans resveratrol and the reason why. And maybe this kind of text should be on the introduction page, the first thing you see before you go into the buy now element of it. And this is all they sell. This is although it's 2 elements in the product, you've got resveratrol and NMN in the product, they only sell 1 product, and this is it. So this is for the first part of the homepage. So scrolling down, we've got a banner here called or titled An Unparalleled Combination, and you can see the first statement here. It says NMN has been shown to be the most effective precursor of NAD. Well, no, it hasn't. Well, not in humans. Maybe this statement is about mice, and if it is, then it should say that, because if you're just learning about NMN and this is the first site that you've come across, this statement could be slightly misleading. We've then got another statement here, and it's the NMN resveratrol fuel and accelerator pedal analogy, and that comes from David Sinclair. But remember, it only works if you mix the trans resveratrol in with fatty foods. So let's see if they allow us to do that with their product. We scroll down, we've got another bit of text here which talks about NMN being the fuel, and then we go a little bit further and we've got a little bit of text talking about resveratrol and trans resveratrol being the throttle. Moving down, then we come to Verso 101, and there's a couple of statements here that we're gonna look at. So first of all, purity, and it talks about their 98% plus purity for NMN and resveratrol, becoming the highest quality and most effective NAD plus supplement on the market. So that's a bit of a boast. Let's hope that they show us proof of that. Tested, third-party lab tested. Again, let's hope they show us proof of that. Stabilized, manufactured in a controlled environment to assure the stability of the NMN and resveratrol. Packed in light-proof containers and shipped overnight. Yeah, that stabilized statement is pretty much indicative of all the NMN that comes out of China. Storage, store in a cool, dark place, ideally refrigerator or freezer, to prevent it turning into nicotinamide. And then the statement there, you don't want that, it'll inhibit sirtuin activity. And that's the kind of the cool kid text that's sprinkled around the site, kind of the off-the-cuff statements. I think that's what I'll call it, cool kid text. When I think I've come across it again, that's what I'll name it as. You've then got the instructions here, which talks about when you need to take it, etc. Correct information. But because they've got trans resveratrol, then it needs to be thoroughly mixed into a fatty food. Theirs comes in a capsule, so in the instructions part, which is telling someone who maybe doesn't know everything about these supplements, something here should be saying break open the capsule and mix it into your fatty food. And then we've got click here to calculate your individual dosage based on your body weight. So that's interesting. Maybe they're using the Rhonda Patrick formula of 24 milligrams of NMN per kilo of body weight. So we click here and it's a dead link. Okay, it's not even a link. So we'll never know if they're using Rhonda Patrick's formula or not. That's a shame. Okay, so dietary, vegan, gluten-free, nut-free, contains no artificial. Yep, exactly the same as all NMN that comes out of China. And production, manufactured in a GMP certified and FDA registered and compliant facility. So again, I'm guessing 99% that is in China. So scrolling down, we come across supplement facts, and you can see here that each Verso capsule contains 250 milligrams of resveratrol and trans resveratrol. So you will need to break these open and mix them into your yogurt to make sure that the trans resveratrol does its job. Because I don't think it's one capsule of one and one capsule of the other. But what if you don't want to mix your NMN into your food? What if you want to take your NMN as David Sinclair does with his coffee? Well, if you buy from this company, you can't. So carrying on, we come to another strip or banner, which is Boost Your NAD. You can read this text in your own time. It's all standard NMN, NAD type copy text. So nothing interesting or exciting there. And the bottom part of the website, you've got join our no junk, no nonsense newsletter. Cool kid text again, which I did. And it got sent to my spam folder, but that's probably to be expected. I opened it, and all it is just reformatted versions of different parts of their website put into a newsletter with buy now buttons sprinkled through it that take you to the buy now page, which is their home page, or learn more buttons. And when you click the learn more buttons, it takes you to the buy now page. So nothing great here. I think it's just the way that they get hold of your email address. So let's go up to the about page. And when you click on the about page, this actually looks more like what I would assume an introduction page would be like. So maybe their web designers got it wrong. But if I was them, I would switch this, and this needs to be your introduction page. So all of this is normal copy text for NMN, no dramas with that. This is the mission statement, great. And then we've got this paragraph here. We did the homework, so you don't have to. Cool kid text. So are they saying that we don't need to do any research? It's just blind trust because they've done it all for them. If that's what they're saying, I'm afraid I don't agree. So this statement here, Verso was founded because we weren't able to find a supplement brand we trusted. There were no scientific backed products promoting longevity optimization using only pure ingredients and warehoused in cold storage. So where do I start with this? Verso was founded because we weren't able to find supplement brand we trusted. Well, you didn't look very hard. I know of 3 that I trust, and I've only been researching this for maybe 2.5 years. There were no science-backed products promoting longevity using only pure ingredients and warehoused in cold storage. Again, either they're trying to instill the feeling of scarcity, which is a well-known marketing tactic, like only so many left or only so many hours to buy this, or they just didn't look very far. Alive by Science, ProHealth, and DoNotAge.org meet all of these criteria, and we know their addresses. So the next 2 paragraphs, you've got another option to order to buy their product, and then you've got the email gathering newsletter option as well. And then we're back down to the bottom of the site. That's the about page. Let's go to learn, and we'll choose purity. Maybe this is where the third-party test certificates are. So what we've got here is a couple of statements. We invest heavily on quality and purity, and then we've got what we do and what they do. So what we do. Verso is formulated with 98% plus NMN and resveratrol. This is the purest form of these compounds available on the market. The rest of the formulation consists of ingredients to aid in the stability of the supplement and molecules. Verso is kept in cold storage at our warehouse to prevent degradation of the compounds. But think back to when I showed you the supplement facts, and I'll flick it up on the screen as well. It says the only supplements or the only ingredients there is NMN and trans resveratrol and a vegan capsule. I thought by law that if you included other things such as fillers or stabilizers, you had to list what they were, not the quantity, but what they were. And I thought you had to do that by law. Anyway, so let's move on now to this side, which is what they do. The supplement industry allows for a lot of brands to not only be misleading, but to downright lie to their customers. Before creating Verso, we looked extensively for NMN and trans resveratrol supplements because we wanted to take them for health benefits. We were unable to find any we'd take. Again, there are so many reputable brands that have been selling resveratrol for years. I can't believe they couldn't find one. And as a consequence of not finding it, having to go through the rigmarole of setting up their own company so they could get the supplements. Another question I'd like to ask them is, so when you finally found the supplier in China that had the right purity and the right quality that you liked, why didn't you just say to that supplier, who else do you supply to? And they may have said donatage.org or Alive by Nature or Pro Health Longevity. Well, then just go and buy from them, because that will save you the heartache of having to set up a whole company for yourself. Or have you just set up a one product Shopify store to cash in? Let me know which of these two options do you think it is. Was it that they really couldn't find quality supplements, or are they just cashing in on the NMN craze that's going on at the moment? There's a lot more in these statements that we'll come on to later, things that don't really add up. And I'm just wondering if Vera Gorbanova would sit, or any recognized scientist would sit on the board of a company that was set up just because they couldn't find supplements on the market that they would take. Let's scroll down a bit further past another chance to buy their product. They do like popping those in. And we've got another what we do and what they do to try and set themselves apart. So we guarantee to include only the highest quality NMN and trans resveratrol. Feeling confident products are being manufactured in a GMP compliant and FDA registered facility. Again, as far as I'm aware, all NMN is produced this way. It's only when distributors cut it with other substances like fillers after the production process that problems tend to start. And then we've got what they do. And again, when they say what they do, I think they're talking about every other single NMN company, which is a bit of a sweeping statement. Verified through third-party lab testing, most supplements, what does most mean, that claim to contain NMN or resveratrol didn't actually contain any of these ingredients. At best, some brands contained only 25% of the ingredients, and the rest were fillers. If a supplement label doesn't state the ingredient purity as 98% plus, it means they only contain 25% or less of the active ingredient. And again, that's a stretch. If your label doesn't say more than 98%, it doesn't mean that there's less than 25% in it. It just means that whoever made your label didn't put plus 98%. And again, why would you put that on the label? That goes on your third-party test certificate. You can't always guarantee that the label is going to match the exact purity level. But they are true. Some companies are selling fake NMN. That's why companies like Pro Health and donatage.org, even though it comes from companies like Intertech, a globally renowned company, which also send it with a third-party test certificate from Intertech, another renowned company. They send it again for third-party testing, in their case to micro quality labs, for another test. What's interesting is I've got this far on this review and I still haven't found a third-party test certificate from Verso. Let's hope we find one soon. So let's take a look in the Learn tab again, and this time we'll go to Learn Knowledge. This takes you to a blog type site, which is good. And then when you click on the picture, it takes you to quite a bit of text and information about that particular subject. Not sure what a rocket's got to do with NMN, but it is a very good resource. There's lots of interesting things to read there. And then if you click here onto the Science Lab, it just takes you to exactly the same page. So Verso, if you're listening, you don't need this science tab. Everything you need is in your Learn Knowledge tab. So that's Learn Knowledge and Learn Science. Let's now go to Learn Questions. And we've got here a couple of questions at the bottom. And we've got 4 blocks. And in each block, there is quite a few questions about that particular subject. So I'm guessing that these questions have been gathered over many years. So let's see, how long has Verso actually been trading as an NMN company? So according to name.com, you can see the site has been up since the 28th of April 2011. So the time of making this, that's around 10 years. But this company can't have been set up 10 years ago to sell NMN and resveratrol because it wasn't around. So if it was, Verso are very forward thinking and they have to be applauded. So there's a bit to unpack here. The site owner appears to be Daniel Colling Meyer, and the company's run out of 709 777 Richard Street, Vancouver. So the company's registered in Canada. This is what it looks like on Google Street View. I'm guessing it's not the coffee shop. Hopefully it's upstairs. But I'm also guessing this is not the warehouse they talk about where they keep their NMN refrigerated. So a little bit more digging. Daniel Meyer, there is a Daniel Meyer in Vancouver, but he's a builder. He founded a company called al13.com, and this is al13.com, and it says Clad the World. So although it's a building company, actually it's dedicated to cladding. He's not a builder as such. It looks like he's someone that fits cladding to buildings. So is this the same guy, or could this be Daniel's side hustle? There's nothing to tie Daniel, the guy that started Verso, to this cladding company, or is there? So I did think, what about the name Verso? It doesn't sound like a very longevity orientated name when you compare it to things like Pro Health Longevity and DoNotAge.org. So I wondered if there was anything in the building society specifically to do with cladding that went around the name of Verso, and I found this. So there's actually Verso prime coated cladding products. I wonder if this is a coincidence. You tell me. So if you buy from Verso, I'm guessing it looks like you're buying from a company which appears to be set up 10 years ago to sell cladding, and the company either failed or they moved on to maybe this company, but they kept the website name of ver.so. Also, remember the copy text from earlier, and I'll stick a copy of it up for you to see. It says the supplement industry allows for lots of brands to not only be misleading, but to downright lie to their customers. Before creating Verso, so before creating it 10 years ago, we looked exclusively for NMN and trans resveratrol supplements because we wanted to take them for health benefits. We were unable to find any we'd take. Guessing you couldn't find any at all. I'm impressed though, because you were looking for supplements years before David Sinclair was feeding them to his mice, and even longer before they were actually commercially available. So that is outstanding. So back to the questions, and there really are a lot of questions, and most of them are pretty obvious. It's why should I take it? What does it do? How do I store it? Are there side effects? Can pregnant people take it? But there's a couple I want to focus on. Just to get some information out. First one is, what is Verso and what does it do? It says an NAD booster that upregulates consumption. No, it's not. It's a cladding company. Sorry, that was childish. So the first one is here. Where can I see batch testing of the Verso bottles I purchased? So that's good. This is obviously the third-party test, and there you've got Advanced Botanical Consulting and Testing have in fact tested the NMN and the resveratrol, and you've also got the heavy metals, more than that actually, because you've also got mold, yeast, E. coli, etc. So that's good. And I've checked out that company, Advanced Botanical, and this is their website. Advanced Botanical are in California, and they appear to be a bona fide company. So let's go back to the questions. One question that I did have on this is, why would they, and they've not hidden it, but why would they put the link to the third-party testing inside a link inside a link? This should be, when you click on buy, there should be the option to click on the link to show that what you're buying is high quality. I don't understand why they've done that. It doesn't seem to be very logical. So back to the questions, and we go to ingredients, and it's got here, where do you manufacture Verso? And it says Verso is made in Sully, California in the USA. And this goes back to the Made in USA stamp. I'm guessing these products come from China, arrive somewhere in California, are then mixed and encapsulated on behalf of Verso in California, and then sent down the road to Advanced Botanical Consulting and Testing. Or they arrive in California, they go to the Advanced Botanical Consulting where they check them. I'm assuming the check is okay, and then they get sent down to a packaging plant, which is FDA approved, etc., and they get put into capsules. That's where, if they talk about putting other substances for stability, that the 98% that you see from the testing company may not be 98% when it actually gets into the capsule. So they need to be careful that they're not doing what they're accusing other companies of doing. So that's it for the questions. So moving on, let's scroll to the bottom of the page and let's look for their returns policy. Now, there isn't a returns policy standalone as such, although they do have here an affiliate program. Would you want to sell Verso's NMN as part of an affiliate program? Spread the energy. If you're interested in being a Verso affiliate, let us know and we'll let you know when we launch the program. So it's not even up yet. What have they been doing for 10 years? I don't know. So when you scroll back down here again, there's no specific returns policy. Find us. We're not everywhere because that's not cool. Tell that to Gary V, or even me for that matter. As a non-commercially minded person, would it not be in a company's best interest to be everywhere that their customers are? I thought companies were there to make money, and the more free advertising they can do on social media, surely it's the better. So there's no dedicated returns policy, but if you click in terms and privacy, it takes a while, you find this. Now this, in my humble opinion, is set out like this so you don't read it. But luckily I have. You have to go all the way down to section 5, which is down here, and it says section 5, products and services. Certain products or services may be available exclusively online through the website. So they don't have an address, they're not selling it from the coffee shop, so where else would they be selling it apart from their website? These products or services may have limited quantities and are subject to return or exchange only according to our returns policy. Now, I've looked all over the site and I cannot find a return policy anywhere. So if you're thinking about buying from this company, I would email them. And if we scroll down, you can email them at get@Verso. Get, such a cool email address. They really are the cool kids. To see what is their tightly kept secret returns policy. The other thing that I found interesting in this was when they say services. So what services does the NMN branch of Verso sell? I think this is copy text left over from Verso was a cladding company and they sold products and services such as fitting, repairing, etc. So tell me what you think about the stuff we've just discussed, which is in their footer. Let's move on to cost. We go to learn and then pricing. I'm not sure pricing or cost should be under the learn tab. You should be able to click on that when you click on the on the Buy Now tab. So anyway, one thing, there's no images of the back of the bottle. So you can't see what's on the back. One thing as well is this is a picture of an empty bottle. Not really important, but not so good. And also I'll put up a picture of the supplement facts label. You can see that's white with black writing. Different kind of font. That supplements label does not belong to this bottle. So these two things are not matched. So that's a small concern. So let's look at the cost. So they're talking about $70 a bottle. And the supplement fact tells us it's 60 times 250 milligram capsules, which is 15,000 milligrams or 15 grams. That works out $4.66 a gram for the product. But remember, that's for NMN and resveratrol. Resveratrol from donotage.org is $1.50 a gram. So if you take that from $4.66, a rough estimate, you're paying around $3.90 a gram for their NMN, which is in line with the market norm, so no problem there. It may be that their resveratrol is more expensive at $1.50 a gram, so that will bring the NMN price down, but then you're going to be paying more for the resveratrol. So for the NMN, it's about $3.90 a gram. For the whole thing, you're paying $4.66 a gram. So let's have a look how Verso fare on Trustpilot. I'm guessing with 10 years experience in the supplement field, they are cram-packed with good comments. This is the Trustpilot page. Absolutely nothing. The other thing as well is this profile has never been claimed. I suppose there's a lot to do in the first 10 years of a startup, as well as running a cladding company too. And again, I might be wrong. And if Verso are watching this and you have nothing to do with cladding and I've got it wrong, let me know, and I'll put this video right. So they score nothing, no reviews, nothing at all to do with Verso on Trustpilot. Well, I hope you found that interesting and helpful. If you're looking for an NMN company, what we've covered so far may help you to buy from this company or dissuade you from using their services. Or if you've got an NMN supplier and you're looking for a new one, then this may be the one that you'd like to choose. So let's look at the three headings I normally look at. First of all, website. I think the website to look at is nice. It's got some good information on there. The science page, easy to navigate, but a couple of niggling questions. First of all, no specific returns policy. Now they make reference to it in the terms and conditions, but I couldn't find what the returns policy was, and it looked like with services and products, it was left over from something else. No physical address. It took me a while to hunt down that this is a company that was formed, or the website owner lives in Canada. Saying that their NMN is made in California when we all know it's not. It's made in China and it's shipped into California, where it's probably encapsulated and tested. So slightly misleading there. No Trustpilot page. That's slightly disconcerting because the company's been up and running for 10 years. You'd think there'd at least be some comments on, if it was probably a cladding company, how they performed as a cladding company. And I may be wrong. Let me know what you think below. But I think Daniel's a builder. And if he's not a builder, he's someone who puts cladding onto buildings. And I think this is his side hustle. And if this is not his side hustle, then I think the cladding company's not doing as well as they thought it would. And this is now his main focus for earning a crust. Let me know what you think. So for website, I'm going to give them 5 out of 10. Certificates, so they got the one certificate that covers NMN and resveratrol for purity and heavy metals and also mold. So that's very good. Company in California that's tested it, so they're going to get 4 certificates, 10 out of 10. Cost, NMN and resveratrol $4.66 a gram. Let's say $1.50 a gram for resveratrol. So that's $3.94 NMN, which is around the market norm. So that's good. 10 out of 10 for that, because it does come with quite a robust certificate of assay and heavy metal testing. So total 25 out of 50. So that's going to earn them 2.5 stars. Let me know if you think 2.5 is too harsh, or I should have been harsher and they don't deserve 2.5 stars. Let me know in the comments below. So a couple more questions that I'd like you to answer, because again, this is just my opinion, and if I think one thing but everyone that comments thinks something else, then I'm wrong. Do you think this website is an ex-cladding, building cladding website that they've just repurposed the name? Website live for 10 years, but how long do you think they've been selling NMN? Because contrary to what the copy text says, they can't have been looking for NMN before they set up the company 10 years ago, because it didn't exist. David Sinclair wasn't feeding his mice NMN, and it certainly wasn't available commercially. Have you bought, or would you consider buying NMN from this company? Let me know. I'd be very interested to know if you have bought it and how you think, or how it's gone. That's it for today. If you've got an NMN company that you'd like me to review, please leave the URL in the comments below and I'll take a look at it. That's it for this review. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. As always, please take care and bye for now.